welcome back. Today we will be looking at something prepping related again. As you can see, the table is empty, but I do have something written on the board. I'll take it away soon as the item is quite big. So this is the Uncharted 72. And here it is. It is a large bag. I found their video first on the internet, on YouTube, and got fascinated by a couple of things. It's a very nicely packaged set of survival kit, and I will explain why I ordered what I did, how I filled it up, and what I intend to use it for. So to start with, and I will link to all the products down below in the description as normal, this is the Uncharted Supply Company 72 survival kit system. It's a bag filled with all kinds of things that you would expect from a bug out type of bag. Normally my preference would be to bug in. I think in most situations where there is a situation where you need to actually do something that you are preparing for, most of the time you should stay home where all of your things have been prepared, your food and water storage, your emergency backup power, and all of that kind of stuff. But there are legitimate situations where you need to get out. Let's say, for example, your house is on fire, or your area is getting flooded. You sometimes may need to leave your bug-in location, and that's where systems like this come in place. I have of course been preparing my own bug-out bag setups for a long time and have never bought a ready-made kit before, but I decided to do it now for a couple of reasons. So first of all, I thought the idea was pretty nice. This is a very high quality bag, and I will link to Uncharted Supply's own video where they open the kit up and explain everything inside. But I will be doing it slightly differently, because what I did is I ordered just the shell and the insert. I didn't order the full kit with all of the accessories inside, and the reason is that I already had pretty much everything that comes inside this bag. I didn't need disposable gloves or cheap goggles. I don't need to pay for that. I already have all of that stuff, but I wanted the bag as it has a couple of nice things. So first of all, on the outside, it is a fold top bag, so it's highly waterproof, and you can even feel the air inside. It's not escaping, so it's air resistant. There's a place for an Nalgene bottle. The full kit comes with one, but obviously you can just buy an Nalgene bottle anywhere. The kit actually comes with a 48 ounce or 1400 milliliter bottle. I bought the same one, but actually it's slightly big for this. I would go with the 1 liter or 30, is it 34 ounces, I think, version. I would go with that as it fits better here. This is a little bit tight for the, or short for the big one. Now that's my first slight criticism of the kit. Otherwise, on the outside there are these straps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. They seem very sturdy, so you could connect something there. There is an emergency whistle. It's very loud. I'm not going to test it here, but I did, and they do in the video. It is pretty loud. There are straps here on the shoulder, straps where you can attach a flashlight or something like that. And on the hip strap there are zipper pockets for something small. They state that you can fit the large Galaxy phones or large iPhones here. I have no reason to doubt that, but it is quite tight for that, and I'm slightly worried that it would bend. I'm probably not going to store a phone in here myself. The zipper is waterproof. They have their logo here on the back, which is supposed to be for air circulation. I'm not 100% convinced how well that will work, but it is there. There's also some straps or little holes for straps on the bottom, so you could attach a sleeping bag, for example, with your own straps on the bottom. And that's it for the outside, except for the big bag on the front, which is also, the zipper is waterproof, and the bag inside is fully waterproof, so you can put documents or something like that inside. And it's very comfortable on the back. I have no criticisms about that. But let's look what is inside, because that's the more interesting one. So you open it up. I'll do it over here. So this is what is inside, what they call the insert. It's also a kind of a backpack if you want. So there are back straps, adjustable ones. And they say, which I think is actually a reasonable idea, you can give the outer bag for somebody else to hold something in and put this on your back, or vice versa. So there's basically two backpacks here. And what I liked about the idea is that it has everything ready. As you can see here, it even has very clear instructions what to do. This should not be thought of as patronizing or anything like that, because in an emergency situation where shock or panic sets in, it's very easy to forget the basic stuff. So I like this idea. First get warm, then administer first aid, what to eat and drink, other useful info. Very good idea. The insert itself also has two of these plastic sheets, one on each side, which are pretty sturdy and flexible. So they can be made into slings, support for broken limbs, or even snowshoes. And actually the other thing is that you can use them with the finger holes as actually a snow shovel to dig some snow if you want. So that is very nice. So let's open it up. I'll go through the setup one side at a time. And I'll give my criticisms as well as my review. So on this side we have 4 clearly marked bags. The first one is water filter, and my Hydra Blue VersaFlow setup fits nicely in the bag. They ship this kit with a different filter if you buy it from Uncharted, but I've chosen this filter for myself, and it does fit in with a little bit of packing. Fine. For the food, what they actually ship this with is an emergency food. This is mine. I've had it before. It's called Energy 5 emergency food ration. It has 2300 kilocalories, 9 bars in this small packet. You can eat it as it is or make kind of a porridge out of it, even for baby food. It's not very tasty, as you might guess from the look of it, but it's emergency food rations. This is what the Coast Guard, for example, in the US has in their boats for emergency rescue. My slight criticism is that this pouch is very small for this. It just fits inside, but the lid doesn't properly close. So it's not a standard size, as this Energy 5 is the same size as a couple of other brands. So what they ship it with is slightly off standard. It's a minor criticism, but it's something to keep in mind. I'm personally not going to have that there. That's for demonstration purposes only. I don't believe that I need to pack that kind of food in my emergency bag. I will put something a little bit more tasty for my own enjoyment there. Then there's the Air and Vision pouch next. It says on the pouch that it includes goggles, air filtration mask, and a chem light. That's what they ship it with if you buy the whole set from them. What I've put here is, yes, a chem light. This is a Miltech brand light stick, very standard stuff. I've also put 2 of these air filters, so if I use this for 2 persons, it's good for both. These are the Zeckler brand, and they are the FFP3 graded air filtration masks, which is pretty okay for dust and small particulates like that. And a pair of goggles. These are pretty much similar to what they ship with this, although I'm a glasses wearer, so I've put in goggles that fit over my glasses. These are okay for that. You could use them in a fire or some other very dusty, ashy situation, I guess, but these are one of the ones I'm a little bit not so sure about if they need to be included in my area, in my situation. That's it for the Air and Vision. Then the tools. Here it says it has paracord, shovel / axe, duct tape, knife, fire starter, and water bladder. I've filled it up a little bit differently as I've used the tools that I think are the most reasonable for my area where I live. So I have a small axe. It's a pretty good one, very sharp, with a leather sheath, so it will not pierce anything. I can actually make firewood or kindling or anything like that with this axe. I do have paracord. I also have a carabiner attached to it, so it's easier to use it for tying something than just the cord itself. Keeping it in place with some rubber bands. I have a nice knife. This is a Mora Swedish knife, very cheap but very good. I chose a bright color because knives are one of the easiest thing to lose in the forest when you're doing something and place it on the ground. Never ever have black or camo colored knives. You will lose them. Pick an orange or blue or something that's not typically found in nature, also in the snow. And I have some duct tape, a pretty good roll. They do supply a very thin, I think they say 5 meters, 5 yards with their kit. I didn't see a reason to have just so little, so I have a slightly larger amount of duct tape in there. That's it for that bag. What I wanted to show you from this pouch is that they do in their video show a collapsible foldable shovel that goes in here. I have one of those. This is a very standard military folding shovel type of thing. I just put some duct tape here on the serrated edge as I was trying to fit it into the bag. It does not fit, and I don't want to rip the sides. It does not fit properly, and even if it would, nothing else would fit in the bag. So again, what they are shipping is either non-standard, or this is not exactly the same size as the one they are showing in the video, the bag, because the shovel that they show in the video demonstration looks very similar to this. So I'm not sure what the issue is there, but this type of shovel will not fit here. In any case, I don't see that as a huge problem. I'm not planning to use a shovel. Where I live, the ground is pretty hard. It's a lot of rock and hard packed dense sand, so it's not very easy to use a shovel. And in a situation in a forest where I'm reasonably going to go from my home, an axe is much more useful for me than the shovel. I'm also planning on adding a folding saw. This is a basic folding saw. It's a German brand, or German made, some kind of store brand from here, but it's pretty good. I've used it a few times and it works fine. Yeah, Flora Best, it's some kind of gardening brand, but it's pretty good. I'm planning to put that there because that makes more sense to me than the shovel. Okay, let's move on. In the middle, there's a zipper bag, place for something small. They are saying in their video it's, for example, for your personal medicine, so I could see that as a reasonable use for it. So on the other side here, they have 4 more bags, and I'll show you what I've been using them for. First one here is the first aid, where I have a first aid kit. This is something I set up as a slightly augmented version of the store-bought one. So I have here few extra things added to the basic one, such as better quality band-aids. That's the first aid kit. It says antibacterial wipes. I have here 4 of them. And that's it. It also says sunscreen. I don't personally see the reason for that. I don't live in an area where sunscreen is needed other than the very peak of the summer, and they do talk about the sun hitting you from the white snow in the winter. I also don't live in an area where that is very likely to happen. It's a lot of forest and not this huge open fields of snow where you will easily get sunburn, such as the ski slopes or something. So personally, I'm not going to put sunscreen there, but I do understand the reasons for including it. Next one is the warmth. It says here tent, blanket, hat, gloves and hand warmers. What I've decided is a pair of warm socks. Nothing is worse than having your feet wet, especially in the cold. So the first thing I want to do is replace the wet socks with some dry ones. So I'm having those there. I have a very lightweight tent, like it says here. They have a mylar or some kind of a reflective super ultralight tent. I have a slightly less light, but it's still small and light tent. Instead of a hat, they have a like a beanie hat there. Instead of that, I'm having one of these tube things that can be fashioned into a hat or neck warmer or something like that. I think it's a little bit more multi-use. I do have a emergency blanket, first aid blanket, and the gloves. I've opted for these kind of working gloves, which are waterproof. That is very important when you're doing something in the wet. The same thing with your shoes and your feet. You want to keep your hands dry when you're working. That's that bag. Then the electronics. They state here a radio, flashlight, and a USB charger. I have again something slightly different. This is my power bank, which is also a solar charger. It does have a small flashlight when you double press the button. It has USB-C and USB-A. Two ports for the A. One of them is the 2 amp one, and one of them is the regular one, and then the USB-C. I'll use this to charge everything. Then I have a set of cables, both for lightning and micro USB. So it's for myself and possible family member or friend who might have a different model of phone to charge, or any other device should be chargeable by this. I don't have a radio here. I don't see a reason for that, again, in my area. And the last pouch is kind of a quick access pouch here. It says flashlight, lighters, matches, multi-tool. So it's a little bit tight. My flashlight here is a USB charged flashlight. So I will be charging it with my power bank as needed. It has all the same features as the one that they are shipping this with. So that's the regular one, the slightly dimmer one, the flashing one, and off. And it also has the beam adjustment. Basic flashlight. I have a multi-tool. It's a kind of a store brand one, but it's a good one that I've been using. The reason I like this, it has rounded, pretty big edges here. So when you actually use the pliers with some force, you're not cutting your hands as you do with some of the cheap ones which are sharp on the edges. I recommend something like this. It has all the basic stuff that you would have in a multi-tool. And I have a pair of lighters. Yes, and in addition, what I have here is a compass. This is a good Suunto brand, which is a Finnish brand, one of the top compass manufacturers in the world. And I highly recommend something like this. Do not buy the cheap the vending machine type of button compasses. They are worth nothing when you have an actual situation where you need a compass. It is one of the most important tools in your bag when you get lost. You can always just go the direction there is some kind of a civilization or road or whatever, with a good quality compass, even if you lose everything else. So I've put that there. This is a wrist mounted one. So yeah, that is the kit. It does cost $199 US for this set without all the stuff inside. So it's just the bag and the insert with the pouches. The whole set with all of this stuff inside from them is about $350, something like that. I'm not sure if it's exactly worth that, so it is an expensive thing, but what I do like about it is that they do make the pouches pretty small, so you can't pack too much crap inside, which means that the kit will stay light, and you kind of avoid one of the cardinal sins, which is to pack your small 72-hour or bug out bag like a hiking backpack when it weighs 20 kilos, 40 pounds. That's not really reasonable. So this is very, very light. It's well under 10 kilos with everything, and I like that idea. Plus I think the insert is pretty good quality. I like the plastic things that you can multi-use, and you can use the bag itself as a dry bag, good quality backpack. Although if you do that, then your bug out kit will not be ready to go at all times, so it's a bit of a plus or minus situation there. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good product. I do think slightly perhaps overpriced, but I'm not disappointed in it, and with the few things considered, such as the fact that the standard size shovel doesn't fit in, which was a little bit of a disappointment to me. Overall, I'm pretty happy, and I could recommend this if you have the budget. If you're on a tight budget, then no, just build your own from a backpack. It's not a problem. This is kind of a luxury convenience item. It's absolutely not necessary, but it's nice to have if you have the possibility. Again, I will link to everything below, and I recommend watching Uncharted's video about the contents inside, because one of the things I wasn't so happy about was the fact that they don't really list very clearly on their website what is included. So you have to look at their video to see exactly what is in each pouch. They just say that it's full of all these things. It's not showing very clearly on their website. So have a look at the videos there. I will link to those below. And until next time, thanks for watching. Okay, here's a brief update. I was going to link to this exact set in the video description, but unfortunately it looks like Uncharted is no longer selling this. It's not available on their website anymore, which is surprising since it's only a couple of weeks since I ordered this kit. But right now this $199 deal is not available on their website anymore. I'll still link to the web shop itself. Perhaps it is only temporarily unavailable, but right now only the full $349 set with all the things I just showed included from their side, plus all the little differences from my setup, is available from Uncharted. So I can't link to the shell and insert set only, but it was available still a couple of weeks ago, and it very well might come back. They do sell a smaller 24/7 version, which is just the pack, so perhaps they are renewing something. Just wanted to put that out there, so you will not be surprised if you try to find the set there. That's it. Thanks.